Well, Tim, obviously, incredible fight of the night. Last time out, vintage 10 means performance, as it was stated. I guess just how big was that win for you to just kind of, get back in the win column, so to speak?
Just getting fight of the night and getting in a fan-friendly fight. It's always a fun thing to do. So, I think more importantly, just getting back home to my family safe without something broken. And, had to go to the emergency room that night or whatever just to get some couple things checked out. But hats off to Andre. It was a war on both sides, and I'm glad I got the dub.
That's awesome. How challenging were the setbacks, right? Because, you're like 50 fights in your career at this point. Like, you can fight, you know what I mean? So, like, when you have setbacks, is it difficult to process still at this point? Or how challenging was that run?
There's always something hurting and aching. It's just the name of the game. But, training camps suck. I'll tell you that. That whole cut and weight shit's getting ridiculous now. So I turned 40. I know my time's coming. It's not today or Saturday. So passed all the medical stuff, got my training camp in. I'm here to pick a fight and get violent.
I love it. Like you said, 40 years old, but coming off a fight of the night at the highest level of the sport, right? So you're still there. So when you say your time's coming, like, are you starting to make those plans at all? Like, I can only see myself doing it this time, or you been thinking about it at all?
Yeah, I've had to set plans up for sure. Cars are my hobby. Working at the start shop from time to time over there in Albuquerque and getting things done over there. But there's definitely got to be a plan. I don't want it to end and be like, oh my God, it's over. I'm sorry, whatever. So right now, I turned 40. If we're following the whole science process, I hit puberty late. So hell, I'm 33. You know what I mean? So hell, here we go.
Is the love for you still the same that it was? Like I said, 50 fights in, 40 years old. Is it still the same?
Say that again?
The love for the sport, like, is it still as strong as it was, like, at this point in your career?
It has to be, right? You see your opponent walking around at times, and, you got to have some kind of craziness to get punched in the face. But, there's nothing better than getting to beat up a coworker and then go on about your day. You know what I mean? Both sign something and just move on. I think the world's got too pussyfied, and, you can't say some things and, oh, my gosh, let's don't hurt each other's feelings. But at the end of the day, we're going to shake each other's hands, get in the cage, and beat the shit out of each other.
I love it, man. All right, well, since the last fight, I guess it was wrestling season. Was that kind of the focus?
Yeah, that was the focus. Got tied into, Moriarty was in the finals 3 times, so we went 0-3 in the finals. That kind of sucks. So Moriarty's getting us a better room to train in and getting us in the heat. And, hell, man, we got a lot of tough kids over there. We come from a poor poverty or whatever community that doesn't have a lot of cash or whatever. We got some mean-ass kids that want to show up, and wrestling practices suck, man. Nobody wants to do that shit, but you want to get out there and get your hand raised, and once you get that first win, then you fall in love with it. So, like I tell the kids, you gotta love the grind. If you're not in love with the grind, you're not gonna like life in general. So just get after it.
Do you think that'll still be part of your life in the future as well, like coaching kids?
It's got to be. You know what I mean? It's the thing I enjoy the most. I'm sure some of the parents are gonna be watching this. Some of y'all suck, but for the most part, kids are on board. Kids work hard. I've had a few years to clean out my room and get everybody on board. And what we're chasing is the vision there in Moriarty for our wrestling program. So, got a lot of parents that do show up, do help out a lot. We just need everybody on board and in the same ship. You know what I mean?
Hypothetically, if you were going to send a message to wrestling parents anywhere out there that suck, what is it you would tell them that they need to do to be better?
Let the coaches coach and sit down.
Fair enough. All right, MMA career next. Uros Medic as your opponent. What do you think about him? Obviously you fought everybody in your career, but what do you think about him as an opponent?
What is he, 9-2? I think what's more importantly is how many fights he has at this level with that few fights. I think he's a dangerous guy, and he's going to meet me in the middle. We're going to figure it out. I think he's left-handed. He's very, very aggressive, and I don't think either one of us like to back up, and that makes a very, very fun fight.
I was going to say, on paper, it does look like it's going to be a very fun fight. So
yeah.
I guess last thing for me is, what are you expecting? Do you want that kind of fight? Do you love that type? It'd be better to throw one punch and go home, right, and take your win bonus and leave, or do you want to go out there, let's have that war?
Is that my question? You're asking me if I want that fight? Damn. I've been here long enough. I think that explains itself, We went through a lot of opponents to get tied down to him, A couple guys were pulled off, put on other cards. I was told I was fighting April 27th, so I got ready for whoever they're putting there. King Kong or whatever's happening. I've had my ass whooped and I've handed out some whoopings, so let's just go out there and have fun Saturday night.
You mentioned, talking to the kids and make sure that they love the grind. Did you always love the grind associated with this sport? Always getting in the training, going to the gym. Did you always love that, or is that something that you grew to love?
No, you have to love it. There ain't no growing to love anything. You have to be, well, I think Gage says it best. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's life in general. I've looked through the windows like that at my parents coming to visit me in jail, and my family members having to say bye to me and in handcuffs. And you have to understand things get better, and if you lay down, that's the only time you lose. And I got a group of great kids. I see them struggle. They go to school all damn day and then have to come into another 2-hour wrestling practice 5 days a week, and then plus wrestle on Saturdays. Life isn't easy. You have to accept it. You have to understand the grind's part of the process, and don't get overwhelmed.
And even that you mentioned, with dust ups with the lawn stuff, and you mentioned these young kids that you're kind of mentoring. Is that part of, besides of just the physicality and the training of the sport, is that those lessons of life something that you appreciate as well, having that opportunity to kind of shape the future of today? Yeah,
bad decisions don't kill you. You know what I mean? They could. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, if you can keep rebounding, it makes you tougher, it makes you smarter, and eventually, if you want to be a good person, you figure it out, and you just put one foot in front of the other.
And you mentioned, the last day isn't this day, it's not this weekend. When you look back, do you think when you got in this sport that you would ever envision that your career would still be thriving at this point, long in the game?
No, my first fight was like $50. My parents were pissed I dropped out of school to be a pro fighter. I don't know what the hell was going on, but it panned out, and here we are.
How did that conversation go?
It didn't. I just made a decision and went with it, and they were not happy about it at all. I was a young, dumb redneck kid driving an El Camino, you know what I mean? So I thought I knew what I wanted, and I didn't. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. But, I got 2 awesome girls at home. They're tougher than I am. They're smarter than I am. Got my wife at home, and without them, I wasn't settled. I didn't have anything to care about, and I was just kind of a loose cannon. Once I settled down, I had something to care about and take care of and watch grow, things got easy.
And as a guy that's, goes out there and goes for those bonuses, would you like to see, after you see those bonuses at UFC 300, would you like to see the bonuses raised in general?
Yeah, where are those guys? I hope y'all keep the same energy, show up with $300,000 bonuses. Don't mess around. Let's talk about it. Let's at least sit down in the room whenever we do our rules meeting over here Saturday night, and let's have a discussion. Yeah, right? Damn right.
It seems like a fair. What would you like it to see? What would you like to see the bonuses get raised to?
300,000. It can't go back, It's not bragging if you're backing up. Like, for real. What are we doing? What are we talking about here? Keep it the same energy. You want to see some fun fights, and Apex guys always show up and throw hooks. You know what I mean? These shows are usually funner than most pay-per-views. Pay-per-view that week was, it's cool. All right, some guys threw down. But was it really that good? I don't know. Apex will be good. Let's find out.
I love it. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Damn, you had 28 fights in the UFC. If you could get one rematch from everyone you fought, who would that be?
I can only pick one? Oh, hell. Can't even think of the Brazilian dude's name that I whooped, and they gave him the win down there. I don't remember his name. Marcio, what's his name? Mirage, something like that. I don't know. The Matt Brown fight was close. I don't know, man. Hell. The Nico Price fight was a throwdown and broke my leg. I don't know, man. That's too hard to point out one. All you sons of bitches that beat me, let's go.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Sergio Moraes. Sorry, I didn't mean to forget his name. Put me on the spot. There's bright lights. I get hit in the head. Let's get along. But yeah, I haven't got paid like I won that fight, so I don't know. And again, Bilal Muhammad took fight on 8 days' notice. Took me to Australia. Messed up my flight. Got me there late. Mariah took that fight late, last notice. Hell, line them up. You can only be scared for so long. You know what I mean? I'm talking about me. You know what I mean? I'm standing only fidgeting a little bit, so whatever. Good. Right on, guys. Thank you.
Hello? You good?
Yeah, because if you don't, we're just gonna wrap it up like at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna try doing it, but then I started tapping the mic and I was like, oh man, it's not working.
Obviously, quite the win streak you've put together, bonus as well. I mean, what is this feeling like for you with all the success you're having right now?
Yes, feeling great, feeling awesome with everything, all the decisions I've done in the last years, and see the results, and feeling motivated to getting more and to go and reach the goal we have in UFC.
Is there one thing you point to most, whether it be, you know, something you changed or something within yourself that you point to and said, this is what made everything work?
Yes, sure. Like when I made one decision, that was when I gave my life to Jesus Christ. That made everything change in my life. No, it was not one thing that I changed that made it. This decision made everything change in my life. The way that I am, the way that I train, the way that I feel confident, you know, the way that I fight, because I find purpose on what I do, you know, because before that I was like, what I'm doing this, you know, even more when you have like not good results, you ask yourself like, what I'm doing this, you know, like when I find the purpose in my life, why I'm doing this, and everything changed. You know, my relationship with my husband changed, and the way we work, you know, I'm as a fighter and he as my coach, the way we know each other, the way I believe him on what he has been doing, and the way like we found ourselves in training camp, and the right people got put on behind me to help me, was like everything perfect, you know, like, and I don't need to say anything, you know, it's just you see the results.
That's awesome. Very well said. All right, so you get this matchup, Karine Silva. She's ranked, so it's two ranked fighters, but she's kind of new to the rankings and new to the promotion. So what did you think when they said, this is who we want you to fight?
I mean, they offered me to fight her on 299 because she's supposed to fight with Laurie Murph, right? So Laurie Murph got injury. They offered me the fight. I said, I can fight her, but like, I cannot fight on that day because I was in Brazil, and you know, we had family and business there to take care. I wasn't training, and I have just fought, you know. I said, I can fight her, but I just, you know, I can fight anyone. I just need a full training camp, and they rescheduled this fight for Saturday. So that wasn't the fight I was expecting, for sure. I wasn't like, after my last performance, I was like expecting someone from the top, but like I know all the fight they were like with the fight schedule, and I'm a fighter, you know. I'm here to fight. I always say yes to UFC, and we got that fight, and I'm ready. Like you said, she's new. I think what's gonna make the difference in this fight is my experience, not only UFC, but like my whole experience as an MMA fighter.
Absolutely. You mentioned Brazil. It's kind of funny. You got Brazil versus Brazil. The UFC is about to be in Brazil. Was there any part of you that was like, I don't want to fight in Vegas. Like, I'd rather go get a free trip down to Rio?
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. But like, I'm here to fight. It doesn't matter where, who. I'm here to fight.
You win this fight, as you said. You thought you'd be fighting someone at the top. I mean, 4 wins in a row, beating a ranked opponent. You're always very humble, but do you need to start like calling out people? Like, do you need to say, hey, I deserve those people at the top?
Yes, I mean, I'm learning how to do that for sure, but like I was more focused on get all this win, you know, in streak, and all this win in a row, because I needed that, you know, like to say, hey, I'm here, I got my spot on the top, on the ranking, so now it's time to show, you know, it's time to show that I'm ready to go to the top. And I made this camp like focus on have the best performance ever in UFC to show that I'm ready to go to the top, you know, like for sure we have plans, but like I don't care about this. I have my coach to take care. I'm focused on my next performance, and like I said, I'm gonna perform to show that I'm ready to go to the top.
Nice. Last thing for me, what kind of fight do you expect to see here? She's obviously had a lot of first-round finishes. I mean, are you expecting this to be a quick, aggressive type fight? Do you expect it to be long and, you know, go the distance? What do you think we see here?
I'm always go to finish, you know. I'm always go to striking or grappling. It doesn't matter. And I'm looking for the finish. But like I have a plan. Like I said, I'm focused on my performance and show that I'm ready for everything. I'm ready to grappling, striking, go by points, or finish the fight. I'm ready. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bogdan, obviously your first UFC win in your last outing. How important was that victory for you after coming up short in your debut?
Твой последний бой был твоя первая победа в UFC. Как важна была для тебя эта победа после того, как в дебюте ты проиграл?
You know, very important win because my debut is I lose, you know, and this fight I be ready for this fight, you know, and I wanna test me, like, and this second fight show what I can do, you know, and now I'm more motivated for next fights, you know, and I wanna show big show, you know.
You also kept your finishing streak alive of finishing every fight. What do you think it is about you that is able to do this every time out? Is it something mentally, tactically? Like, what gives you that success?
Ты также продолжаешь свою победную серию из финишей. У тебя ни разу не было победы решением судей. И все победы у тебя финишами. Как ты это делаешь вообще? Что тебе помогает это делать? Как это возможно?
You know, fans love it, beautiful fights. You know, love it like match points. You know, not love it like grappling matches. Yeah, everybody love it. Something new. You know, and knockout is every time something new. And beautiful chokes is too. And I come to the fight, you know, I come to the make money. And if I show like point match, nobody never give for me bonus, no have nothing, you know, like this. For me, this is not interesting. And every time I wanna like show big show. It's very important for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
And here you are after your first win, 2 months later, in the co-main event of a UFC card. I mean, what is this experience to be already in this high of a spot on the card?
И вот мы здесь, твой третий бой в UFC, и ты дерешься в соглавное событие и за топ-10 дивизион. Что нас ожидает? Что ты вообще об этом думаешь? Какие у тебя эмоции?
My answer will be very, very short, you know, big drama show, you know.
I like it. And hey, a ranked opponent as well. I mean, that has to give you some confidence that the UFC believes in you if they're giving you a ranked opponent already.
Соперник в рейтинге. Это должно тебе дать знать, что UFC в тебя верят. UFC что-то видят в тебе, что другие не видят. И что они не видят в других бойцах, знаешь? И это ты должен чувствовать себя хорошо.
Yeah, my feeling is very good, you know. I hope this moment you see, believe in me, you know. And on this night, I show this is not like simple. I come show to the show. Yeah.
Dig it. Ryan Spann, as an opponent, what do you make of him? Or is there anything in particular that concerns you or that you know will be a challenge for you?
Что ты думаешь о Райан Спенне? Есть что-то, что он имеет больше преимущества над тобой в каких-то аспектах этой игры? Что ты вообще о нем думаешь?
You know, Cage is show everything, and we let's see what he wanna show me, and I show for him, and this moment very interesting, not for fans. This interesting for me because this guy from top, you know, and now how say I'm another fighter than be my debut. You know, I find new way from my head. This big, strong my mentality now, and let's see.
Have you let yourself think about what could come next with a win? Because you beat the number 11 guy. Now you could potentially face top 10 guys next. Are you letting yourself think about that? And is that what you want with a win here?
Ты думаешь о том, что тебя будет ожидать после победы над бойцом номер 11 в мире? Ты думаешь о том, будешь ли ты, следующие бои будут с ребятами из топ-10? Ты вообще об этом сейчас думаешь? Или, как говорят, не разделяй шкуру неубитого медведя, ты об этом еще не раздумываешься?
Yes, I not think about a future, future fights. But in the top 10 have a lot sharks, and I think no problem find a new opponent for me after this win.
Very nice. Last thing for me, and I may know the answer already, but on paper, this fight looks very explosive, fireworks. What kind of fight do you think we see on Saturday?
Ты взрывающийся такой боец. Мы какой бой должны ожидать в субботу?
Explosive fight, explosive fight. I love speed, I love technique, striking is my strong side, and I want to show like beautiful fight and explosive fight.
How has it been training at Extreme Couture and training with Sean Strickland?
Каково тебе тренироваться в Extreme Couture и с Шон Стрикландом?
Extreme Couture is a very good gym. I like it. I going to the sparring. I work with Strickland, a lot guys who be here, and he helped me a lot. Strickland is a very good guy, very tough guy, and we like our sparring is be like fight, and we work is strong.
Do you plan on coming back to Vegas and training at Extreme Couture?
Ты планируешь, следующие свои бои возвращаться в Вегас и тренироваться там, в том зале, с этими ребятами?
If I be in Vegas, 100% I be in the Extreme because I love this gym. I like it.
And then your friend Walter Walker lost his UFC debut. I just wanted to know your thoughts on that fight.
Твой друг проиграл свой дебют в UFC. Что ты думаешь об этом бое? И как он себя чувствует сейчас?
His feeling is good. His feeling is good, everything. But this is debut, and very, very difficult for everybody. Debut from UFC, and I think this guy show who we are, what he can show for world. This is very good guy, very strong, but he young, and maybe a couple time and he show his name.
Did you give him some advice? Because obviously you lost your UFC debut. You came back and won your second fight. Did you give him any advice?
Ты был в этой же позиции, проиграл свой дебют, к сожалению. Ты ему дал какой-то совет, чтобы подбодрить его?
Yes, I say for him, no need to watch to behind, need to watch every time, see to the front and keep moving, and believe it is our biggest strong, I think like this.
And you've taken a couple pictures with Anthony Smith, basically your long lost brother. Do you still want to fight him?
Ты пару фотографий у тебя есть в социальных сетях со своим братом, который в детстве вы разделились. Ты с ним общаешься или какие у вас вообще? Ты как к нему относишься?
He's very good guy, very good guy. He have a very beautiful face, I think, yeah. And and we have not only like a picture, we have sparring with him. I work a little bit with him only for touching, like friendly sparring. It's be a good experience for me. And maybe in the future, this guy in the top, and now I don't think about future. I think about now on my fight now. And after, if this fight interesting for UFC, let's do it. I'm ready.
Thank you.
Hi, you mentioned sparring with Sean Strickland at Extreme Couture. What are some of the things that you learned, either technique or mentality-wise, when you spar with such a high-caliber fighter?
Sorry, say it again.
He mentioned sparring with Sean Strickland at Extreme Couture, and I just wanted to know some of the things that he might have learned with sparring with a high caliber fighter.
Ты сказал, что тренировался с Стрикландом. Ты что-то выучил от него? Там, он что-то тебе показал, что ты раньше не знал? Интересно просто.
You know, Strickland is a guy from champion caliber, you know, and top guy. For me, big experience only work with him, you know, and find maybe something way for, like, I'll say, not win, but like experience only work with him, like this. Nothing new, but, you know, he's how say, как будет эти навыки. Его навыки.
Skills.
Yeah, his skills is a high level, you know, and for me, interesting work with him because I wanna how testing my skills, he testing his skills, and work like this. We know learn something new, but work on the top skills like this.
So Alex, you always have to answer questions about canceled fights, scratch fights, and look who's here to save the day, right? I mean, is there a little fun in that for you?
Nah, man, I just laugh about it, you know. It's not, it is what it is. I just happy to be here.
Nice. How did this one come about for you? I mean, obviously you fought just 8 weeks ago, so how did your name get in the mix, and how did this all come together for you?
So I had put my name in for another fight. I think for the April 6th card, they were looking for somebody, and I was like, hey, I can make, this weight, and didn't get back to me. So then when Manal got hurt, they called me, and I said, yeah, my nutritionist was like, I was like, wait, let me call my nutritionist first. And then she's like, okay, yeah, we can do it. So then, yeah, we got it done, easy.
Very nice. So you were trying to fight even sooner than this. Was it just trying to stay busy, or was it like a little bitter after the last one, or why did you want to get back so fast?
I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, I tell people all the time I'm a sore loser, so I fucking hate losing. So I'm trying to get back in there, and I stay in shape. I'm at the gym all the time, and I was in camp. I was working with Cody and Cynthia, so I was training with them. I was doing everything, so I'm always in good shape. So I was just happy to try to get back in there as soon as possible. And then they offered me that June 15th fight. I said, yeah. But I was like, in my head, I'm just stay ready in case something happens. And this opportunity came up.
Nice. So are you still like in on June 15th, or?
We'll see how this fight goes. You know what I mean? See injury, but yeah, I'll be down. The more active I am, the better. I like to be active. Obviously, when I first got in the UFC, I think I fought 5 times under Zuffa. Was very active, So that's my goal, to get back to that and keep going.
Nice. April 6th, was that going to be a 35 fight?
No.
Higher than that?
No. I asked to fight at. They asked for 25. I was like, oh, I can make 130 because I think it was like 5 days out or something like that. And I was like, I threw my name in there. Like, it wasn't like they asked me. I was like, hey, I'm down. I was like, I can make 130, and they never got back to me. So I was like, okay.
Was the crew at Acai Republic like, bro, we just got you back. Like, when are you leaving again?
No, they understand. They hold it down for me because, like I said, without them, that shop definitely wouldn't be running with me being there. They do a good job of keeping me on my toes and keeping me accountable for everything. So they do an awesome job.
That's awesome, man. All right, we'll talk about Matheus as an opponent, kind of, what this fight presents for you as far as challenges.
Matheus, he's a super nice guy. I've met him a few times, actually. He's actually been over at my house. Because one of my roommates used to train with them and stuff like that. So he's been at my house before and stuff like that. Like, him and his wife, they're super nice people. It's just business. I fought a couple friends in the game before, So for me, it's just business. We're not the best of friends, we're acquaintances, but he's a good guy. I think he's a hard fight for anybody. There's 2 different Nicolaus you get. You get the one that's kind of a little passive. You get the one that's aggressive, but they're both good. Very, good record. Good jiu-jitsu, comes from a great camp. It's a tough fight, but I feel like I'm ready.
You said, like, you're not best of friends, but you are acquaintances. When you have matchups like that, do you reach out to the guy to just be like, hey, man, just to let you know it's nothing personal, or do you just?
Nah, I think he understands it. I think everybody in this spot knows that it's about business, you know what I mean? This is how we feed our family. This is how we make our money. So, you know what I mean? Like I said, he's a great guy. Him and his wife are great people. And I had nothing but respect for him in that camp as well. And like I said, I'm excited to show what I can do.
Nice. Flyweight division is kind of crazy right now, right? You know what I mean? With everything that's going on. So, like, I know you've had a couple setbacks and been out for a while, but, are you looking at this as a big fight? Because it's 2 key ranked opponents, in a main event. Like, this could have some real impact in the division.
I feel every fight's important, right? Like, the next fight's always important. The one after this would be important. I feel like in this division, any fight can get you a title shot, So, who knows? Maybe I'll go out there, have a great performance. Maybe I have to fight 1 or 2 more times, maybe one more time to get back in that title hunt. But like I said, I just keep fighting until they tell me what's next, you know what I mean? So I'm not really too worried about it. But like I said, this division, anything can happen.
You said, hey, man, maybe I can go in June, right? So ideally, like you said, I know you're trying to stay busy. Like, how many times would you fight this year?
The more the merrier. You know what I mean? As long as I'm healthy, I'm good to go. I think biggest thing for me is just being having to make some changes, obviously, in my training. I'm not as young as I used to be, so just making some training, putting recovery a little bit more ahead of certain things, So I think that's what kind of this last couple of layoffs and the fight cancellations kind of brought to me, was like, hey, I got to focus more it's not always about the grinding. It's sometimes about the recovery stuff. So I've been doing a really good job with that, especially with the help with the UFC PI. You know, I bought a house out here, so I'm out here probably once a month. You know, just getting fixed up, making sure no major injuries, staying on top of everything. So I think that's helped me a lot.
Very nice. Last thing for me, you said it. You know, there's kind of two versions of Matheus as an opponent. So I don't know if you're able to instill your will. Like, what kind of fight do you think we see? I mean, do you want to go out and get something dominant like you've had, or is this, you know, are you expecting a grind? Like, what kind of fight do we see?
I'm expecting a grind. I mean, he's tough. I mean, like I said, Perez and these guys have been there for a long time. I'm pretty sure they have a great game plan. You know, they come from a great camp. So I'm expecting them to be tough. I'm expecting a 25-minute war. You know what I mean? He's a tough guy. He has knockout power. I've seen him drop people. You know what I mean? I've seen him, like, people don't understand. Like, I've watched him since, man, I think he fought Louis Samoka back in, I wasn't even in the UFC yet, I think, or maybe getting in there. So I've watched this guy fight a lot, and I've seen what he can do. I've seen his best versions of him, of this guy. You know what I mean? I think he lost to Brandon Royval, and man, I think I forget who else he lost to, but I mean, you know, I think he's like 19-3, something like that. So he's a tough guy. So I'm expecting the best version of himself.
Old school name, by the way, Dustin Ortiz.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember if it was him or not. But yeah, you know, some old school guys. He's been in there with some of the best guys in the world, from, you know, the first generation of 25ers to even now. So like I said, I'm expecting him to come out the best he can come out, and I think he's gonna be more aggressive, especially because I took this fight on short notice. So I think he's gonna be very aggressive, and you know what I mean. I welcome that kind of fight.
Alex, was it kind of bittersweet to, you know, when Manel pulled out? You know, obviously he talked a lot of shit when when you guys were scheduled to fight, and then he pulled out, and then you replaced him. So was it kind of bittersweet?
Nah, man, I don't pay attention to any of that. Like, I know he talked a lot of smack. You know, everybody's different. Everybody in the sport. I know guys that have to hate your opponent to fight. You know what I mean? Be like, I fucking gotta hate this guy. Like, yeah, I can care less. Like, whatever he says online, whatever he says on social media, to me, anybody, just not Manel, but anybody, it doesn't really bother me, because as long as you respect me when we're face to face, it's cool. If you don't like me and disrespect me in my face, I probably won't even do anything, right? If you come at me, start trying to fight me, that's different, right? But even if you don't like me, like, as long as I'm cordial with people, like, I'm not the best friends with people, but I'm pretty cordial. It's pretty hard to get me mad, you know, get me ticked off. So wherever people say, you know, people have asked me that question, like, how does it feel? I'm like, oh man, it sucks. Hopefully Manel heals up, man. He's a good addition he's a good person in the division. And I've talked to him outside, you know, he's a good person. That's the way he wants to make money, sell the fights. That's great. That's on him, you know. I'm not going to put another man down for what he's doing to, you know, provide for his family. It's not the way I am. I'm quiet. Really don't talk too much smack. I do my own thing, and some people have to do other things to motivate themselves. That's great. I mean, I'm not too worried about what people say, so it doesn't really affect me.
Is it nice to have the flyweights headlining a card? It's kind of a rare instance.
Yeah, man. I feel like the flyweights don't get enough credit, you know. I feel like everybody in America feels bigger is better, you know. But once the big guys get past the first round, man, it ain't too much more in there, you know. At least it's flyweights. We can go at least 15 to 25 minutes, and it's gonna be a fast-paced fight.
And I guess just what were your thoughts when Steve Erceg got the title shot?
So people have asked me that too, because obviously, if you look at resumes, Makhachev has a tougher resume, I believe. He's fought more in the UFC, but he's fought Tim Elliott, fought Demetrius, and then I fought Pantoja. I fought Davison, and then I've also fought Pantoja, so he beat me. But in this sport, you're just as good as your last performance, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what you did. Like I said, Steve went out there and did his job. He fought a ranked guy right out the back, beat him, then finishes Alessandro, and then comes in and finishes Matt Chanel, right? That's very impressive. Makhachev went in there, and I'm coming off the couch after a year layoff, and it was a hard fought. You know what I mean? I thought I won the fight. Obviously, the judges didn't see it that way, and I can't disagree with them. You know what I mean? But it wasn't his best performance. So, I mean, this is also a business, so I understand. Like, hey, this guy's going in there putting people to sleep. Well, let's give him a shot, you know? Why not? It's a business, but it's also fighting. But I think you're as good as your last performance, and he went out there and looked great.
So when it's all said and done, who wins next weekend?
Man, I give it to Pantoja with the experience, but Steve, he's tough, man. He has very crisp boxing. I was watching this with Chanel. He pulled that hook right out the back, and Pantoja has been shown to get hurt. And Steve, I see him during fight week, and he's a big dude. I think I'm big for the division. He's tall. Nathan has very good boxing. You know, it's hard to say how he is in the ground and stuff because no one's taken him there yet. Like I haven't done any study on him, so I don't know if he's ever been taken down or anything. But man, he was looking like a stud. And but I got to go with Pantoja with experience, and he has a great camp at American Top Team. So I got to go with that. I know they're gonna game plan well. I know Pantoja's been wanting to fight in Brazil. You know, he asked for the fight, so you know he's training his ass off. You know, he's coming, you know, guns blazing. So it's, you know, I give it to him. But you know, I'm not saying Steve can't win. You know.
Cool. Thanks, man.
You've been doing this since professionally since 2011. It looks. You know, when you talked a little bit about how your training has changed, whether it be for recovery in between fights, how much has that changed from when you started in the game, and how much has it changed now? And is that because of experience or accommodating to how the body's differently now than when you got into the game?
A little bit of both. When I first started, so I started training in 2010 when I just graduated high school, the first time I threw a punch. And we had a team out there, shout out to my team, Team Ochoa, you know, that's the guys that got me started with Mito Morales. And every day, this is where we would go in the gym, we'll live roll, we'll spar, and we'll hit pads. That was an everyday thing. Like, you know, and it wasn't like we were like the smartest guys. We didn't knee or elbow each other, but fuck, I'm going with guys. I was the smallest guy. I was competing in college, so I was wrestling at 125s, but I'm sparring with guys that fought at 145s, 170s. There was no such thing as weight classes, you know? And from that to moving to Team Oyama, just seeing how they trained under Colin Oyama, the drilling, the bag work and stuff. We didn't do that when I was at my first team, right? Not because of anything, just because, you know, we were just young in the sport, you know? And then going out there, learning how to drill and stuff like that. So I had to adjust training to that. And then being young, still being able to train 3-4 times a day and be like, oh, I'm good, you know? And then from that to now, it's a little bit different. Like, okay, I can train twice today. Tomorrow I can train 3, but then I got to do recovery here and there. So just from experience and just the game has changed so much from 2010 to now. Like, it's growing so fast. So training methods are training all the time. And I think that just kind of helped me do everything as well.
And I think a lot of times when people think of a fighter in camp and they think of him training, they're thinking they're always working technique, you know, technique. How important is strength and conditioning, and how much is that in the I guess if a percentage of what your fight camp is based around strength and conditioning?
So what I feel like it makes me a little different, my training doesn't change while I'm in or out of camp. The only thing that changes is sparring. Like, I'm not going to spar. Like, unless someone has a fight like Cody, Ricky, Cheeto, some of those guys, or even my teammates from, you know, on the lower level guys, right? Some of the amateur guys, they got fights that need a body to train. Like, I'll go in there and spar with them. But if no one has a fight coming up, I don't spar, but I'm still in there wrestling. I'm still there doing jiu-jitsu. I'm still doing strength and conditioning. For me, we have to do so much. So I do 2 MMA days. I do 2 jiu-jitsu days, 2 wrestling days, and 2 kickboxing or just drilling days, you know. And I still do my cardio, you know, not obviously as intense, but I do a cardio. So my training really doesn't change too much, and I feel like that's what helps me being able to take these fights. I feel like the more time you take off from the sport, the harder it is to get back in there without getting injured. Because I know guys from the past are like fight, disappear for a month or 2, and then come in. Hey, I got a fight offer, and then come in and train the first week, and they're beat up and can't go for the next day. So for me, I think that's the biggest key.
And I feel like in the past few years or so, you hear that a lot more from fighters, that it's that subtraction on the amount of sparring. You see some gyms and some camps, it seems like guys go 100% all the time. Do you feel that that's maybe the key to longevity, is reducing some of that unnecessary damage or maybe head trauma that you would take if you sparred more often?
Yeah, everybody's different though. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. You know, people talk about oh, this works for me. This works. Every person's different. I know guys that like to spar all the time. I know guys that do no technique and just go live the whole time. You know, everybody's different. Everybody has their thing. For me, I've wrestled for so long and stuff like that. I mean, I don't feel like I need all that wear and tear on my body all the time. I mean, I've been wrestling since I was 10 years old, you know, and wrestled at a good high school where we traveled all around out of Lemoore High. We traveled, from Virginia Beach up to Oregon, all over, competed a little bit, at the international level a little bit here and there. But just doing all that, like I don't feel like I need too much more wear and tear on my body. So that's kind of the thing I had to change as well. Like just kind of listening to my body, I guess. Trying to be one with my body, I guess.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Thanks, man.
You mentioned earlier that the fight with Matheus would be a grind. Do you think your background in wrestling will present unique challenges for him as the fight continues to be a grind?
I think so. I think a lot of people now in MMA don't wrestle. Like, I go out to Gold Rush Wrestling Club when I'm in Vegas out here, and I'm wrestling with high school kids. Yeah, they might not be D1 athletes yet. You know what I mean? They might not be college wrestlers yet, but these kids do this on a daily. And I'm out there, and I go out there and compete with these guys. I'm out there wrestling, talking smack with these guys, and like I still wrestle. So I feel like that's why my wrestling still, like I'm not a Division I wrestler. Like if you look at my accolades in wrestling, like compared to some of these other guys that we've had in here, like Henry Cejudo and guys like that, I never won a state title. I never even placed at the state tournament. And junior college in California, we don't travel outside the state of California. We have the same 20-some schools. So the reason why my wrestling is so good is because I'm still wrestling twice a week, no matter what, in or out of camp. So for me, I think that helps me a lot because people don't expect the transitions to be certain ways. Everybody MMA wrestles, and the thing I bring different is like, hey, I MMA wrestle, but I also bring a lot of traditional wrestling into my camps. Like for the last camp with Makai, like people were like, oh, like you're actually a good wrestler. I'm like, yeah, shit. Like I've done it for so long, but I also continue to wrestle all the time. Like I'm not a guy that doesn't do it, so I think it'll bring a lot of challenges for him.
And I'm also familiar with your coaching work at Syndicate for wrestling. Do you think coaching kind of brings you a unique aspect to wrestling itself?
Yeah, so I started coaching back when I was in I think I was like a freshman in high school. We did it for our farm boys club. Like my coach Kent Olson used to have a farm boys club, like little feeder program into our high school and junior high. So I started coaching those guys at a young age, and it helped me like, hey, show technique. And be like, oh, well, this is where I'm messing up as an individual, but I'm showing these guys. So it kind of helps me, make sure the technique's right and everything. I think it does give you a different little aspect to things, and I think it's helped me all the way through from wrestling all the way up to MMA. And
you said you were acquaintances with Matheus. You didn't show him any special wrestling tricks while you knew him.
No, we never trained together. Like he's been over to my house. Like I said, hey, one of my roommates is really good friends with them, stuff like that. He's Matheus Nicolau. Actually, he's the one that we cornered together with Cody, and we hang out all the time. We train together, So it's like small worlds. MMA is a small community, and it is what it is. But yeah, like he's a super great, nice guy, man. I actually like him and his wife, and everybody I know him. They've always been super nice to me. So like I said, respect to them and their camp. Like I said, I'm just excited to see what we got Saturday.
Thank you.
Okay, cool, perfect. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Por favor, palco é seu. Primeira pergunta que foi feita, cadê aquele penteado que a gente já se acostumou? Cadê o fro?
Ah, gente, eu já tava com um pouco de preguiça.
Oh, guys, I was kind of lazy today.
É difícil fazer, tem que ter calma, paciência, tempo, mas sexta-feira vai ter. Sexta-feira vai
It's
ter.
hard to actually put it together. It's got to have some, you have to be calm. You have to have some patience. Got to have the time. But Friday, write it down. I'm getting it.
Eu acho que foi ele que me perguntou. Eu tentei treinar com o Black, só perdi cabelo. Só perdi cabelo.
So, so that like in Portuguese, when you hear her say when the black, that's how we define the fro. Like, yeah, that's with the black look. It's like, I think it was you that asked last time, what was it training like? I tried to train on it, and the only thing that happened is I lost hair.
Não deu certo. Não deu certo.
Didn't work.
Well, talk about this run that you've been on. It wasn't that long ago you were here just trying to get into the UFC. Now you're 3-0, you're ranked. I mean, what has this run been like for you?
Fala nessa sucessão que você tem vindo de lutas e vitórias. Não faz muito tempo você estava só tentando entrar no UFC. Como é que tem sido para você essa mudança de vida?
Tem sido maravilhoso. Na verdade, a única coisa que mudou foi que aumentaram os treinos, intensificaram os treinos, mas a minha rotina tá igual, tá normal.
It's been wonderful. The only thing that changed, the frequency training has increased, the intensity of training has been increased. But I mean, it's been wonderful. But the routine changed, but my life has been the same.
Did you envision a rise this quickly? It seems like a lot of people are talking about you now as a real contender, and it just happened so quickly. Did you think it could happen this fast for you?
Você imaginava que seria uma ascensão tão rápida? As pessoas estão começando a olhar para você como uma candidata a coisas maiores agora. Você acha que seria tão rápido? Você achou que seria tão rápido isso?
Foi rápido não, gente. Foram quase 12 anos. E eu acho que todo o nosso trabalho, porque é meu e da minha equipe, é um dia de cada vez, um passo de cada vez, um treino de cada vez. E não foi rápido. E não está sendo rápido.
It wasn't quick, guys. It wasn't fast. It was actually the work of 12 years. And I say our work, and what I mean by ours is, our team and the people. We've taken one day at a time, but it's taken a long time. It was not quick.
Very well said. Some time off in between fights as well. I think like 8 months at this point. Was that by your choice or necessary? Why the time off?
E teve um hiato, um tempozinho entre lutas, uns 8 meses. Foi por escolha tua ou como é que foi essa dinâmica de ficar parado esse tempo?
Não foi escolha minha, não. Eu queria muito lutar ano passado. A gente tentou com várias atletas. Infelizmente, ninguém aceitou, mas eu estava pronta. E estou pronta mais uma vez.
No, it wasn't my choice. We wanted to actually fight many different athletes. Unfortunately, no one accepted it, but I'm ready to fight. And once again, I'm here and ready to fight.
What do you think about Ariane as an opponent? She had some struggles early on, but she's got a nice win streak going as well. So how do you evaluate her as an opponent?
E como é que você vê a Ariane? Ela é alguém que enfrentou alguns desafios, teve alguns reveses no momento da carreira, mas tem vindo agora numa ascensão também. Como é que você vê ela como oponente?
Ela é uma boa lutadora e eu acredito que eu vou impor o meu ritmo no sábado e sair com a vitória.
She is a good fighter, but I believe that I'm going to impose my rhythm of fighting, and I'm going to come out with a win on Saturday.
It's obviously Brazil versus Brazil in Las Vegas. Was there any part of you that wanted to maybe do this in Rio de Janeiro?
Obviamente, Brasil contra Brasil em Las Vegas. Teve alguma parte de você que falou assim, bem que podia ser no Rio, né?
Não. Eu não escolho luta, não escolho data, não escolho adversária. Eu tô pronta para lutar. E eu tô aqui para lutar e para ganhar.
No, I don't choose fights. I don't choose dates. I don't choose opponents. I don't choose places. So I'm just ready to fight over here.
It's a key fight in the division. It's ranked opponents going against each other. So a win here. Are you ready to start facing the ones at the very, very top of the division?
É uma luta importante para a categoria. São duas atletas ranqueadas se enfrentando. Ou seja, você se sente pronto a enfrentar o topo desse ranking?
Como eu sempre falo, é um passo de cada vez. E primeiro eu preciso lutar no sábado, ganhar. E aí eu posso parar e pensar no próximo passo.
As I say, it's one step at a time. I have to fight on Saturday. I have to win on Saturday. And after that, we'll look at what's up. But then we'll look into the next step.
Last thing for me, your UFC start has been pretty spectacular. So when you envision this fight, I mean, are we looking at another first-round finish, or do you think this is a fight that you might have to settle in for 3 rounds? What kind of fight do we see?
E a minha última pergunta, a gente tem visto o teu início de carreira no UFC sendo bem eletrizante. Você acha que vai ser da mesma maneira? Você vê isso como sendo finalizar isso, ou terminar a luta por via rápida, o mais cedo possível? Ou você acha que isso vai para 3 rounds?
Eu acredito que a luta vai acontecer como ela tem que acontecer. Se é no primeiro, se é no segundo ou no terceiro, isso não importa. A única coisa que eu vejo é a minha vitória.
I think the fight's going to happen the way it's going to happen, whether it's going to be in the first, the second, or third round, it doesn't matter. What I believe on is going to be my win. All good?
Thank you, guys.
How you guys doing?
First, I know it's a little frustrating one the last time out. I guess any lessons you take out of that, or anything you care to remember from that one?
Yeah, it's part of the gig. I mean, I didn't expect Parsons to pull out, and my whole camp was revolving around fighting a Muay Thai fighter. Parsons. I don't think he has any takedowns in his resume at all. So I did not a lot of wrestling throughout the camp, and that was a big lesson for me, just always do it all, regardless of what the fighter brings to the table. So I adjusted my training camp a little bit better this time, in case something like that pops up. But I did see Tim show up, so we're good to go.
I was going to say, it's kind of a curious spot, right? Because you've had 5 months. After that fight, I'm sure you'd want to work on your wrestling, but then you find out you're fighting Tim Means, and, like, dude's probably not going to shoot a takedown on you, you know what I mean? So
you never know. I mean, he probably watched my last fight, so he's like, oh, maybe I'll take this guy down. So he can try. I mean, I definitely did work on it, so let's get it.
Very nice. That said, even though you did work on it, I gotta be thinking that when you heard Tim Means was the opponent, the thought process had to be pretty excited. I mean, we know what that guy brings to the table.
Yeah, he's always there he shows up to fight, so I'm excited. It's going to be a good fight. He is a veteran. You got to respect that. I mean, this is a sport where men die young, and when you see an old man, you gotta respect that. So I'm excited. He's not the only veteran around. There's a lot of veterans, and every time I hear or see one or talk to one, it's always an exciting thing. It's like, wow, man, you've gotten far in this game, and that's not easy. You got to give it respect. That's
awesome, man. I was going to ask you kind of where you evaluate him, right? Because he is 40 now, right? He even said here earlier, he's like, look, I know my time's coming. Yeah. But he's also coming off a fight of the night win, right? Yeah. So, like, where do you evaluate him, where he stands right now in his career?
I'm sure it's going to be a good scrap, but, the sport, the nature of the sport, it's a lot of wear and tear. So I believe with the youth is going to play a big role. I mean, he did fight some younger guys, and he won against some younger guys, so I would never count him out, but I'm pretty confident in my ability to finish fights, and he gets hit. I hit pretty hard. I finished a lot of guys that have never been finished in the UFC, including, I think, Morales and Matthew Semmelsberger. Both have not been knocked out in the UFC, and I finished both of them. For whatever reason, I didn't get a bonus for neither one of those fights, and I will keep that against them, especially for Semmelsberger. Whoever was there to see the chaos in the arena after my spinning back fist and then not award me with a bonus, I'll make sure to cement that this time so they can write the 3 checks out, and somebody's going to get oiled up.
I love it. I mean, look, it looks like on paper it could be fireworks, right? But I mean, can you let yourself get drawn into that to like having a war? Does this feel like I really need a win after what happened last time, not just go out and have a war?
So I'm not too focused on the outcome of the fight. To me, most important thing is to focus on the performance, putting a good performance, smart performance, because whatever it may look like, for me, this is a marathon. It's a long game I want to play. So there's no reason to get into a reckless fight like I did maybe with beginning of the round with Semmelsberger, So it needs to be smarter. It always needs to be smarter. The more smart you can fight, the longer you can stay in the game, the less damage you take. It's a pretty simple thing. Like, don't get into a bar fight. Like, it's a professional MMA fight.
Nice. Last thing for me. I mean, win here over a veteran like Tim. I got to think it'll be a fun fight. However, it winds up. What do you want next? I mean, have you started thinking about, you had 5 months off. You're coming off a loss. Is it like we got to get this thing rolling? We got to fight quickly. Like, what's the plan after this one?
So I was planning for this year to fight 2 to 3 times and aim to reach the top 15. That was the goal. We'll see, that was the plan and the goal. We'll see how things work out. Everything goes well. No injuries. I believe I'll be able to fight 3 times. Springtime, late summertime, maybe again in Utah, and then sometimes again in November like I did last time. So it's not out of the picture. Now that I am in the welterweight, it definitely feels a lot better on my body and my brain and my emotional state, just overall. So that's the goal. I would like to reach the top 15 and then reset and kind of think about the further steps. But for this year, goal is to top 15.
Has Mike Tyson been coming through King's MMA lately?
I haven't seen him at King's MMA because they've been traveling, I think probably doing some media, and he's been with Master Cordero a lot over, I think they were in Arizona for a little bit. They may be around here in Vegas right now. I'm supposed to meet with Master, I think, sometimes this week if everything works out. I don't know, maybe Mike will be around too, so it would be nice to see him as well. I've seen him in the past several times, so Mike is great, and it's always an absolute pleasure, and just being around is a great thing.
Well, what do you think when you saw that fight booked against Jake Paul?
I mean, props to him. He's you know, how old is he? 56, 7? I don't know how old is he. So to do something like that, it not only takes balls, but I don't think anybody but Mike Tyson, like he's the only one that can do that. I don't think anybody else can try, even attempt to pull that off. So, and he's got one of the best coaches there is by his side. So I think it's a pretty exciting thing to see, and what these kids are doing, Paul kids, you got to give them respect, even though I'm not a huge fan, because they really are not a fighter, neither one of the brothers, but they are running the fight game besides the UFC, outside of UFC, because this is real fighting. Everything else is, we can say some of the boxing is real fighting, but then what these guys are running, it's a little funny, but it's entertaining, you know, and at the end of the day, it's entertainment business we're in, so you got to give them some respect.
Thanks, man.
You mentioned the bonuses. We talked about that with Tim a little bit earlier, how the bonuses came up at UFC 300. They had the 300,000 bonuses. He says the UFC should keep that same energy and maybe bring that back. If you guys knew that the bonuses were bigger, would you fight even harder for those bonuses out there?
I mean, I disagree. I mean, we're all fighters and we all fight. I try to finish every fight. Like, I think personally, bonus should be included with the finish. Like, if you are chasing the finish, I got my last finish in the 3rd round, like at the end of the 3rd round. So I was aiming to finish this guy regardless, and I believe they should have paid out for that. And $50,000 was not what $50,000 used to be 15 years ago. So there should be some talk about it, but I mean, is what it is, you know? We're here to fight regardless. I'll fight. I used to do it for free, you know? I'll fucking fight. And there's a shitload of people that would still do it for free. Just to get their foot in the door, they would do it for free. And whoever runs the company, they also know that too. So if you're like, you know, if you want a $300,000 bonus, well, guess what? There's a shitload of guys that will do it for free. So it's not going to happen. But every now and then, yeah, I mean, $300,000, that's amazing. And Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje definitely deserved it. That fight was, I mean, it'll be down as one of the craziest fights that was ever in the octagon. So I'm sure... you know, I like Justin a lot, and I know him. I see him. He's friends with Benny too, and I felt bad. I was rooting for Justin, even though I like Max Holloway too. I was rooting for Justin, and I can only imagine. You know, he's gonna be seeing that video a million times. You know, every time my opponent fights, I'd be like, motherfucker, like that's me getting my ass beat, even though, you know, I win most of my fights, but that's how it is. You know, it's gonna be his fight name is Highlight. So either he wins or loses, it's a fucking highlight.
And that being said, that moment, it's kind of iconic that, you know, Max pointing down at the ring and then bringing it forward. Is that it's like the stuff out of movies. Is that something that you would love to have, that sort of moment be iconic in one of your fights?
Yes, as long as I'm in the Max Holloway seat, right? But I think Justin fell in a trap. You know, he was a bit hurt, and it was a tough fight, and he got hurt in the first round, got his nose broken, and he should have expected Max to ask for that, and he was already hurt. Had he not been hurt as much, I believe Justin would have been able to take the punch that landed. But he was already badly hurt, and Max, you know, asked for that brawl in the middle, and it resulted badly for Justin, unfortunately. But it gave us the fight for, you know, forever. We are all going to be talking about it forever. Like, yo, you remember that fight? And everybody's going to be like, yeah, man, that was crazy.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
You said that you like to focus on your performance rather than the outcome. Do you think that's the reason why you have as many finishes as you have?
I mean, I haven't thought too much about it. Like, it's just something that I've learned throughout studying a little bit of mental performance and just overall having a mentor a little bit, talk to stuff about it. And because we are always focused, hey, I need to win, you know, I need to win. But the focus should be how I need to win, where and what am I going to do to get there, to win there. So that's why when you focus on the result, there could be a certain type of anxiety related to it, and we all fighters. It's every athlete will face it, and especially fighters. Like, there's not a lot of sports where you face another man that's trying to hurt you, the way it is in the cage. So, focusing on doing the right thing, staying in the zone, being conscious of what you're actually doing, and not just being using your reflex to fight. I think it helps a lot, just delivering a better performance. And if you're conscious of what you're doing, you can stay calmer. If you can stay calmer, you can breathe better. You get tired less. I mean, we all see the people from Dagestan. They changed the whole game. They would wrestle people and get enough time for them to feel comfortable, breathe well, calm down, and that's their game. I mean, I've felt it on my own skin against the kid from whatever, he's from Tajikistan or somewhere, Kazakhstan. I can't remember exactly. Props to him coming on Kyrgyzstan, yeah, there. It's one of the stands, yeah. So, and that's ex-Soviet Union. They have a similar style of wrestling, all of them, and they're very good at it. And that fact that he gets enough time to kind of reset and think also helps them put a good performance down the road as the rounds go and the time goes. Because I worked really hard to get those takedowns, to get up from those takedowns, but he wasn't doing any damage. I was just panicking because I wasn't there ever. I didn't prepare for that. Like, if you look at my record, I always fought strikers mostly, and maybe have gotten taken down once or twice. And it's not like I didn't expect to never get taken down. I worked on my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu. It's a lot different when you specifically prepare for somebody who is a wrestler. And when I took the fight, I was told, you know what, this is a weak notice. This guy is mostly a striker. You look at some of his fights, he's mostly a striker. But then when you really look at his fights and look at the details, this guy's actually specified, just specifically wrestler. So I was a little disappointed that I fell into that trap. But I'm here to fight always, I'm not going to say no to fights. And I knew that there was a disadvantage going into that fight, but I also was that close to knocking him out, in my opinion. And had I not panicked, I would have knocked him out. Had I just kept my distance a little bit further and just kept teeing him off, I think it would have been the end of it. But it's a big lesson, and, life goes on. Let's go. Next one.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
One quick follow-up.
Yeah.
Now that you're back at welterweight and you have some fights on your belt, how much weight were you cutting to get down to lightweight?
I mean, I wasn't much smaller than I am right now. That was last year and a half ago. So I would walk around high 80s, 180 plus 190, and it just my weight doesn't really come off easily. I am look at me, I'm lean and skinny, so it's really hard. And that's why when I fought Jalen Turner, I was really surprised. Like, wow, man, it's very impressive. How are you able to do this? Because I struggled so much. And everything depended on it's like a lottery I played. Hey, how my weight cut works out, that's how my fight is going to work out. On a bad weight cut, it's a bad performance. On a good weight cut, it's a good performance. And I believe it's the same case with him. We see each other personally, like doing physical therapy. We were in Orange County, and his weight he's lower than me physically. Like, I was like, wow, man, but it's just a different body type and different body build. But his last performance, it was also good, but towards the end, I think it was because of his weight cut that he didn't have enough energy left to grapple and wrestle with Moicano. Moicano's a little bit smaller and thicker, and he was able to implement his game on Jalen and just keep him down. That really wears you out, especially after a weight cut. I hate the weight cuts, man. It's just, it doesn't make any sense that before you go into the hardest thing that a man can do, you try to make yourself as weak as possible, just to try and rehydrate yourself more than like you would even normally be hydrated, because you're chugging water and electrolytes. So, but that's how the game is, and everybody does it. Wrestlers, boxers, I don't have a solution for it, except just kind of write stuff down and try to get your weight cut to be the best it can be.
So, not having to worry about that weight cut, is it just so much better to focus on skills, not having to worry about dieting during camp?
Yes, and I think the main thing is the injuries, because once you're cutting that much weight, you're underfed. Your body needs calories and needs fats, needs carbohydrates to repair itself. And you're breaking your body every day in training. And if you don't have enough input, it's just not gonna. It just breaks down. And that's how I ended up having a broken hand and a surgery. In my opinion, I was underfed. You don't sleep as good. You just do not recover. That's it. And I had to change that. I had to change it. And it's not like I don't worry about weight. I still am mid 190s, you know, like outside of the fight camp. So if I wanted to, easily could be 200 pounds. So it's not like I'm a smaller welterweight at all. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys have a good day.
So Superman Stan rocking the cape today.
What's up? What's up?
What made you say I'm rocking the cape today at media day?
My daughter. Yeah, she wanted me to wear it. She said it like a few months ago. She wanted me to wear the cape next time I come fight. So
very cool. And sat down with a flourish. Did you practice that?
a little bit. You know.
All right, let's talk. Hey, last time out, obviously controversial result, I would say. Have you been able to move past that one, or is that one still sting a little bit?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it sucks because, you know, when you think about financially and all that stuff, the money I should have gotten versus the money I actually got and all that. But other than that, we moved forward. That was however long ago now. So there's no point in looking back. We just keep on to the next phase.
As you said, 8 months since that time. Was that time that you wanted away? Did you need some time off? Or
Yeah, that was me. Shortly after that fight, I called me. I was like, I wanted to forego any of the offers that I had for the end of the year because we wanted to take time, like me and my coach. We felt it would be best for me to be able to slow myself down. There was things that I needed to work on, and you don't really get a chance to do those things when you're in a camp, you know? And so we've been working on our consistency and things of that nature.
Nice. Was that a difficult decision? Like you just talked about the financial impact of things, right? Not taking a fight is a financial impact for 8 months. Was that difficult to say, all right, yeah, let's sit on the sidelines for a while and work on this stuff?
I can say it was difficult, but at the same time, I trust God. As a matter of fact, that's why I wore my shirt today. Full armor of God. I knew He had me. I knew God got me. So it would suck, but I knew I'd be fine. I always have been.
Now you're back to action. Is it a little messed up that they gave you a guy that looks exactly like Anthony Smith?
I don't know what they're trying to do here, man. I don't know what they're trying to do here, but it really don't matter. I'm just grateful to be fighting somebody, and you know the way he looks, it won't hurt. It won't hurt.
I was just saying, is it maybe like you're getting revenge? You know, you get a victory here, it's kind of like you got one back, even though it's a different dude?
No, I think I try to convince myself, but it doesn't work like that. And I know that. You know, it's fun to think that and all that, but I honestly just don't care. I just want to get to the next step, do the next thing, stay consistent in what I've been doing. Who's in front of me never really mattered. You know, some people don't hurt more than others, but, you know, it doesn't matter.
humorous side of the matchup aside, what do you think about him just as an opponent? We haven't seen a lot of him in the UFC, but obviously he's got a lot of finishes, not unlike you. I mean, what do you think of his skills overall from what you see?
I know I feel like I say it every time I come up here, but I haven't really watched too much film, so I don't know what kind of skills he's going to present. Because I know there's people that can change. You know, he's here for a reason. He's against me for a reason. I'm sure he's good, you know. But to say that I've watched it or have any thoughts on it, I just want to go out there and do what I do.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing you want to show me? You took this time away to kind of reset a little bit, right, and to develop. I mean, is this about a new version of you completely? Is it about refining kind of who you already were? Like, I mean, are we going to see like a totally different guy out there on Saturday, or what kind of changes should we expect?
Man, I just want to go out there and let God use me, and we're going to see what you see. But I feel like I'm going to be very excited about the result. But, you know, like I said, I want to let God use me first and foremost.
Get the big win here, co-main event. I mean, you're still high up in the rankings. Are you thinking about what comes after this? You know, what you should earn with this, that sort of thing?
No, a big part of the time that I've taken off is me being able to compartmentalize where I'm at and to quote Deion Sanders, to be where my feet are. And that's one thing we've been working on. So I hadn't really been looking for it. I'm not even looking at the fight right now. I'm just here doing this because I got to. You know, but other than that, you know, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Last thing for me, I know you say you haven't watched a lot of tape on him, I guess. I mean, he has finished every fight that he's had. You finished a lot of fights as well. On paper, it looks like it's going to be fireworks. I mean, is that the type of fight that you're expecting here?
I'm just expecting to be present. And what comes from that comes from that.
You mentioned being present, you know, with the there you go, my brother. The time that away from fighting, it sounds like you get to reconnect with the family, because a lot of times the fight camps and the time away, you know, it strains the family just as much as the fighter. So part of the time away from fighting, did that help you to kind of spend time with the family and reconnect? And how does that help you going into the next fight?
Man, that's an excellent question. Yeah, it did. It did help. And one thing we've done as a matter of fact, we got a meeting today, so don't forget. But one thing we've done as a family is try to build around, like I think I was saying it somewhere else over there, about being able, basically training my kids to be what I need them to be the example for them, and just being able to spend more time with them, let them get to see me more, and take some of the strain off of our life, because we've basically just been going with no schedule. See, I usually do this, but the mic's short. But we've just been going and almost preparing ourselves to prepare for this, if that makes any sense. Teaching my kids how to clean up after themselves, help their mom out when I'm gone, and things of that nature, you know. And now is the time that this is what we've been working for, and all that time off, you know, like I've told them, and I'm telling them again today, we're gonna FaceTime, we have family meetings every Wednesday now. So just building a consistent schedule and stuff like that, being able to do that, taking this off my plate and being able to like really focus on training them like I'm supposed to do, you know. God said, train your child in the way they should go so that, you know, they don't turn back. And so that's what I've been trying to do, and being able to take this off my plate for however long it's been. I think John said 8 months, 9 months, or however long it's been. I really did need that, and I feel like now that we're here, it's a lot smoother. We have, you know, my mom is at the house now, and like we're all more so on the same page. So it's less for me to worry about when I'm away, because when I come out here, it's just me and my team right now. So, you know, it really is a blessing that I did have that time off.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times when we see fighters going in the fight camp, we just think about the physicality. But when we hear fighters up there, it's the mental side that is just almost as tough, if not the toughest part of the fight game. So for you to be able to come in here.
Oh, the physical shit easy to me. Like that's, you start throwing hands, we can throw them things. But, you know, it was me having to conquer the mental side is what I needed that time for, like you said.
Do you feel like coming in with maybe just less weight on the shoulder, that you're able to focus a little bit more about it? Does fight week feel a little bit lighter or a little bit easier coming in knowing that things are, I guess, taken care of?
Let me ask y'all this. Y'all have seen me here a few times. I've noticed a couple faces. How do y'all feel I feel? Just from talking to me right now compared to how we usually.
Much
Yeah.
better.
See. Yeah. It's a lot lighter. Your boy up here in the cape, a bonnet. My hair looking crazy right now. My daughter wanted me to wear my cape. And actually today's my wife's birthday too. So, just been having fun.
Well, happy birthday
It's
to
a
you.
little different. Thank you, man. It's
Yeah,
a little different in a good way.
That's great. Well, happy birthday to her as well.
Thank you.
Are the kids going to fight over the outfits now? Who gets to pick the outfit, or does the other one get the turn?
Well, my daughter got the cape. I have 3 kids. My daughter has the cape. That was her idea. And then my son is getting my walkout. So his birthday is May 1st, so I'm walking out the first of the month. Because I play it every year for his birthday. So I'm just gonna play it fight night this time. Look, couple days early.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Best of luck on Saturday, man.
Appreciate it.
So I'm assuming that you're a big Superman fan. Do you have like a favorite Superman from all the movies from back then? Henry Cavill, Christopher Reeves, anybody?
Man, it's hard to say. It's funny. My dad may be more of a Superman fan than I am. Christopher Reeves, like I see him a lot growing up. We've watched the Henry Cavill. I hadn't really thought too much into it. Like I honestly don't care too much for watching DC movies. If I'm being honest, like I don't know. I don't know. I like the black one. That's me.
All right, thank you.
We good? Oh, easy work. Thank you.
Welcome back. It's been a year between fights. Obviously, preparation for a fight happened, but it's been a year. So I guess what's the feel like for you to finally, hopefully, get back in there?
Yeah, I'm feeling that good anxiety. You know, I'm kind of anxious to fight, to perform, to show everything that I'm working. And that's it. I'm happy with the opportunity, my first main event. So lock and load, ready for Saturday.
I was going to ask how special it feels to be in a headliner, right? I mean, you're coming off a setback, obviously, but to be in the main event, to know the UFC trusts you to be in the main event, what's that feel like for you?
It's awesome. You know, like I feel like a gratitude for things happening, like things that I always working for is finally happening, and also really motivated to take the best of this opportunity. And that's it, to fight, to get back to the winning column, especially on a main event. And I think it's awesome, not just for my career, but also the flyweight division. I always love when I see the flyweight guys doing the headline, the UFC events. And then in the next week, we have also Pantoja and Sega headline for the belt on Rio, which is always a huge event. So I'm really excited with all this that happened in this momentum.
Very cool. So everything's good. Do you have to deal with a change of opponent? I guess, how much was that a frustration? How much did it impact your preparation to have to change up?
Yeah, right away when we got the news that Manel was out, we got frustrated. You know, I was thinking about him since last year. Like we started the preparation around November, December, because the fight was in the beginning of the January, and then we closed the fight against him again. So right on the moment, you get frustrated, you get worried. Oh, is my fight gonna get postponed? Is my fight gonna cancel? They are going to get another opponent, who they are gonna get me to fight, is a ranked guy or not. But at the same day, we closed the fight against Alex, so that was good. And right away, I changed my mentality. I was already focused on Alex, and the good thing was like 4 weeks before the fight, so we have enough time to make all the adjustments, you know, on the training, on the strategic part, on the technical part. So it was enough time to make all the adjustments that we needed and to be ready to get this victory.
During that little short time of frustration, was there any part where you're like, I should have just fought in January?
No, because I was really confident about the choice that we made, you know, because of the weight cutting and stuff like that. That part of doubt on my mind, it happens more like on the first days after the fight didn't happen. Like, oh, should I get this fight or no? But even with a little bit of doubt, that's normal. At the end, I was really confident with our choice, you know, and it is what it is. And right now, we're still here. We still have the main event, and the most important thing is that I'm going to fight and I'm going to win. Doesn't matter if it is Manel, Perez, or whatever. The important thing is to win and to keep growing on the UFC.
What happens if in the future they come to you with Manel's name again? Are you like, nah, man, we can't do this fight, or do you take the fight?
Right now, I'm not thinking about it, not even Manel or even the belt itself. So, no, I'm completely focused on the fight. Like you said, there more than a year that I don't fight, so I'm really, really excited to put the great job inside the octagon. I want to fight, want to perform. I'm not thinking about the future no more. But honestly, after the fight, I will be looking up. You know, is the direction that I'm going, is to the top of the mountain. I don't want to think about Manel anymore.
What do you think about Alex as an opponent, what he brings to the table? Obviously a veteran, high level. What do you think of him?
Exactly. Alex is an experienced guy, more than 25 fights. He already been in a championship fights. He already fought for 5 rounds. He's a completely fighter. He's good on the striking game, have heavy hands, heavy leg kicks, good wrestling background. You know, he's a complete fighter. And this will be a great challenge for me. And my mentality is the same as always. You know, this is the most important and most difficult fight of my career. That's how I'm going to this fight. You know, I respect him and respect his martial arts, and I'm ready to get the victory.
I know you said, like, hey, I'm not thinking about the belt or anything, but, like, the flyweight division is kind of crazy right now. Obviously, with Steve stepping in there and taking a title. You two guys are highly ranked guys in a main event, you know, the week before a title fight. So does this feel like a big fight to you in the division, and maybe you think it deserves maybe more attention than it's getting?
I don't know about more attention that is given. I think this kind of happens with the flyweights. It's it's kind of changing. I can see the people are liking more and more the flyweights. Like I said, it's awesome. I get really happy when I see the flyweights headlining the UFC, and I have 2 in a row. So this will be awesome for the flyweight division. And I think the momentum is really good for me to get the victory on a main event of the UFC 1 week before the belt. So the momentum is really good. So everything that is happening is really good momentum, and I will take the best of this opportunity.
Last thing for me, you're always a respectful guy, but like you said, it's kind of an important time at flyweight. So a big win here, do you get on the mic and start making some call-outs and trying to stir the pot a little bit, or is it just, hey, let's get a win and see what happens? Like, what's the plan?
Right now, it's just let's get a win and let's see what happens, because I got to win. I got to do a good win, and good things will happen for sure. But yeah, I will not change my style, I'm not gonna try to be someone that I'm not, but for sure I can promote a fight even being respectful. So I will talk, but I will talk my way. And with a good victory, if UFC wants, I will be there on the first line to watch Erceg and Pantoja to make the fight.
What were your thoughts when Steve Erceg got the title shot?
First thing that I think was like, man, Pantoja is really the man. He doesn't run from challenge. It was awesome that he took that challenge. UFC needed a big fight, a title fight for the Rio event, and Pantoja just took the fight. He didn't, like he always do, he didn't run from the challenge. So I think this makes his career even brighter and bigger, and also is really good for the flyweight division. Like I said, it's awesome to see the flyweight division headlining UFC. And I think Erceg, he just got the opportunity. We already saw this happen before, not just on the flyweight division, but even in other divisions. Sometimes MMA is about timing, like that's what happened. Like they need a big fight. Pantoja was ready to fight. He wanted to defend the belt in Rio. I think it's part of his dream, to defend the belt in his home crowd. And Erceg took the opportunity, and Pantoja too. So this will be awesome for Pantoja legacy and for the flyweight division.
Who do you think wins next weekend between Pantoja and Erceg?
I think Pantoja will keep the belt, and I'm also rooting for him. We trained together years ago in Avignon. I have a good relationship with him. I can call him a friend. And I hope that he wins and maintain the belt in Brazil. I cannot do the opposite, like it's in Brazil, man. The Brazil gotta keep the belt.
So, say you go out there and win this Saturday and you get to fight Pantoja next, like, is it going to be tough trying to fight a friend?
I already been through that before. My first UFC fight was against Bruno Correa. He was in the Ultimate Fighter with me, and we was like really, really close in the Ultimate Fighter. We was doing everything together, one helping each other, and then we got to fight. But yeah, man, that kind of thing happens, and I gotta say, of course, it's kind of a little bit more motivated when you fight against someone that is not that cool, is not your friend, for sure. But also at the same time, it's good to think about, like, if me and Pantoja, we are fighting for the belt, it means that both friends, they got on the peak of their career. So we both are on the top. I want to succeed the same way that I want my friends to succeed. So we will be both really successful defending the belt. So it will be nice too, it will be an honor to share the octagon with Pantoja if that happens one day.
Cool, thank you.
Welcome.
We were speaking with Alex Perez earlier, and he talked a lot about his wrestling accolades. Do you think that you would want to surprise him with wrestling of your own?
I want to surprise him in all areas, I want to play my music and to be on top in all areas, and in the grappling game as well. I know he has a strong wrestling background. I know he's good at it, but I also am good at it. I'm Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I've been doing this since 9 years old, so I'm ready for whatever.
And both you and Alex said that Pantoja was going to win against Erceg. But do you think that there's a certain challenge that Urseg brings to Pantoja?
For sure, man. It's not because Urseg is the number 10, it is not a dangerous fight. He's a really dangerous fight. I've been watching all of his fight in the UFC. He's good striking game, good grappling. He's strong for the division. He's tall for the division. For sure, it's going to be a tough matchup for Pantoja, but I just think that Pantoja will be ready and will get the victory.
Thank you.
Welcome.
One quick follow-up. Alex said you had been to his house before. Do you remember going to his house, and were you sizing him up at the time, being like, I could take this guy?
No. When I went to his house, I was not sizing him up. I had no idea to fight with him. I have a very close friend, Matheusinho, is a Muay Thai coach. He lives with him, and Alex is always so nice with me, so respectful. I saw him at the beginning of the week, and he was so respectful. We got to shake hands and everything, but it is what it is. We're going to fight and have no feelings, Just go there, do my job. No feelings, no good, no bad, no happy, no nothing, no sad. And it is what it is, Just go to do my job. Thank you, guys. Thank you.